Today I have with me my mom, Jill Alexa du Preez, and Rose McClement. And all three of us have done an amazing workshop called Heal Your Abundance. I would love to hear what was your favorite epiphany that you had in Heal Your Abundance. Who wants to go first?
Yeah, why don't you go first?
Okay, I'll go first. I absolutely love the masterclass that was included on There's Only One Problem and One Solution. The way Joanna puts it is that the one solution to every problem is recognizing that we are part of the source. A Course in Miracles talks about being part of the mind of God. And in the Bible, Jesus spoke about the Holy Spirit. When he left, the Holy Spirit came and became part of us and resides within us. And so the one problem is believing that we are just a body, that we just came to earth as a body, and that's all we have with limited means and limited resources. But once you realize that you are actually part of the infinite, that we are actually part of the mind of God, that we are part of infinite source, you have the solution to everything, because then your solutions are infinite.
You become the solution.
Yes, so she talks about humaning your way forward. When we start to try and think of solutions about how we can make things work, instead of just opening up and allowing God or source or the infinite creator to guide us using our intuition, humaning our way forward is never going to get us there, at least not in ease, joy, and flow. We could hustle our way and we can human our way to all of the solutions we want, but actually the easiest solution is just recognizing that we are infinite and that we are part of source. So yeah, that was one of my major insights. There's only one problem: believing that we're not part of the mind of God, or believing that we are separate from God. Joanna calls it believing in the void or feeling the void, versus the solution is understanding their source. Okay, who's next?
Well,
the thing that I find really interesting, and that's so true, is that we are the stories we tell ourselves, the stories we've been told all our lives. We believe them, and they're not always true. It's shaped who we are and how we see ourselves. And it's to actually think those stories through, that these stories actually don't belong to you. They belong to either your parents, your teachers, or it was their perception of how they saw you. I was told I was lazy, but they didn't know about being dyslexic then. It was just laziness. There are all sorts of things you're told as a child. We were told not to speak about religion, money, or not to talk about sex. They didn't talk about that. But we have to learn to ditch those stories and form our own stories, and knowing the source, that the stories are what we believe in ourselves, make of ourselves. And the more you work, doesn't mean to say you're getting over that inbuilt feeling that you're lazy, that has been ingrained in you. So you work yourself to blooming death for nothing, because you're actually not.
To prove that you're not lazy. Yeah. Crazy,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah. Anyway, so you got to ditch the story. I like that. Ditch the story. That was really a great thing for me. I enjoyed that.
I love that as well. It's about reframing our stories as well, because we get so attached to them and we tell these stories for years and years and years. And the more we tell them, the bigger they become. They become part of us and they become what we believe about ourselves.
We begin to doubt ourselves and begin to be people pleasers. Oh, gosh. I mean, all the years I had to have a little sign on my mirror saying, I would love to help you, but I'm sorry, I can't. If I didn't look at that every day, I would blithely well say yes, 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 yes. And then you feel you begrudge them the time or whatever effort you're putting into it. And it's so silly. Meantime, I just had to change the story.
Wonderful. Well, Joanna said that her people pleaser was so strong that she landed up with multiple organ failure and on her deathbed. So that can get really, really bad. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, the other thing we weren't allowed to talk about was politics. I
We'll
didn't
not
mind.
talk about that today. I think we'll skip the politics, but we'll talk about money and religion.
I don't care about talking about money and religion. I'm quite happy about that.
Right.
And the other thing she spoke about, which
Yeah.
really touched me, was to have a good self relationship, to actually learn to like yourself and love yourself. Because very often we look at ourselves and we think, especially as we're getting a bit older, you know, you look at all your faults and where you've let yourself go. And that's not who you are. It's not who you are at all. It's what's inside you. That is the thing that you have.
I love
That's
that.
my
And Rose, tell me what you got.
I have to take a really deep breath, be able to relate to you. This course came actually in a month that is probably my busiest month of the year business-wise. So it was a real commitment to go into it, because knowing that I'm one of those, if I commit to something, I commit to something. And it would have been intentional. I would have had to go to the meetings intentionally. And funny enough, the thing is that her lives were at all different times. They were never at like 11 o'clock in the morning or 1 o'clock. Suddenly I find I'm on Facebook. Oh my God, she's live. Oh, I thought it was going to happen at 11. Or, oh my God, she's live and it's 9 o'clock. Oh my goodness. But I was always there.
the right time.
But yeah, at the right time. And so actually the changes in mindset and energy that have happened to me in these 4 weeks has been enormous. Enormous. It all basically started off with that resistance that I had to joining the group. You remember, Lauren, I really didn't want to get into another coach telling me what to think, what to do, what I had enough 8 months or 9 months prior. That kind of course, I was still feeling very tender as a result of it, and I didn't want to go into it. But I decided, okay, well, just give myself time to think about this. And I did, and I joined Heal. I thought, let's start Heal. Who wants to spend a whole bloody year listening to the same person and getting brainwashed by the same person? I've just done 8 or 9 months of that. And I've been in various groups, Flow for 7 years, and Living Alchemist for 4 years. And, you know, I'm up to here with groups. And then once I started doing Heal and listening to this woman, oh my goodness, it was so different. And I think what it was is, like I told you, I really decided to be open and to receive. That's what the intention is, to be open and to receive. And particularly, I had terrible resistance against the law of attraction. But when I discovered that actually the law of attraction is calibrated at 240, which is acceptable, I suddenly thought, hold on a minute. Okay, there must be some value here. And I have heard everything she has said in the past. I've heard it on my spiritual journey. I've heard it a good few times. But it all was like a big bloody puzzle that came together and just landed cohesively, and I began to see all that I'd been hearing. And it was absolutely incredible. And it is because she speaks from a purely experiential point of view. She speaks genuinely and authentically, and that always resonates and lands. And she went on to say that authenticity is a higher energy than love. And I love authenticity. So I can really get that. But it has been so huge. I've had so many epiphanies and so many aha moments. I can't even begin to explain. One of them was during the honesty and hindsight. I've no problem with honesty. I've learned to be vulnerable, and I've learned to be honest, and in part of the whole, as we call it in ACIM, undoing. But what has happened with Joanna is that being humanizing, it's okay, you're a human being. You don't have to demonize the ego. You're a human being. There was just so many things. But the one thing, two things, was the hindsight and the judginess, and how that impacts and becomes a block to being aligned with source. That you know, you will always have one problem and one solution. But the solution is clearing the conduit and being in alignment. It was huge. And she says alignment is instantaneous. It's either on or off. It was like,
So,
really? And it was just like this realization of actually at the end of the day, the judginess is what actually locks in a block. So things have been coming up, and one of the things that came up during the hindsight thing was we were experiencing financial lack. And I realized how extensive my belief in financial lack is. Around every corner, I looked, oh my God, I'm so locked into financial lack. It's not even funny anymore. The mentality of it. But just realizing that we create our own reality. I don't know what this woman says it does, but it just like, oh my God, she just puts it so beautifully. It makes perfect sense.
I agree.
It's a wonderful story she tells. And the other thing that really, really landed for me is similar to what you're saying is everything we think is happening outside of us is actually happening inside of us. It's all internal. So we think that there's all this stuff going on outside, and we're busy trying to change the outside. And what can we do
control the outside? Control the outside.
Control the outside and what happens to us. And it's never about that. I've heard that so many times.
Yeah.
And I understand that it's all an internal game, but it really landed for me in doing Heal Your Abundance. It really, really landed. And one of the things I never really understood was my own resistance to things. Like, for example, in our group, Mindful Metamorphosis, earlier this week, I talked about my little Christmas miracle I got where I got my eyesight back. So I now no longer need to use reading glasses, which were making me feel old, having these reading glasses on and off, on and off. And all I had to do was tweak my prescription. My optician tweaked my prescription in my contact lenses, and now I can see again. It's so amazing. I can read and I can see far, and it's so exciting to be back to that. But what I realized is she actually told me she could do that 2 years ago when I first got the prescription for the little reading glasses. She said there was that option. And I wasn't able to hear it then. I said, no, I don't want that option. I'm not ready for that option. I was in resistance to that. So it was all about breaking down that resistance. So the answers are all there. They're being offered to us, but we are resisting them. So somebody might say to us, oh, I want to gift whatever it is to you, and you push it away because of whatever, all your reasons. You can't do that. It must come from some other source. And that is resistance. The universe is trying to give us everything we want, and we're just pushing it away all the time. Do you remember the story she told about the girl who wanted to get this car, and they had a whole discussion about it, and she said, well, what car would you like? And it was like a van for the children and whatever.
Oh, yes.
And then a week later, her mom offers her this exact van down to the color. She had bought it, she had paid for it cash, and she decided she didn't like the thing. And she was just going to give it to her daughter and buy herself another one cash that she actually wants. And the daughter said, no, I can't take that from my mom. She comes back to Joanna and she says, no, I can't take that from my mom. I can't do that. And Joanna said, well, let's unpack this. What is your resistance to having it from your mom? And what she realized is when she was younger, when they were growing up, her mom had no money. And she still saw herself like that. Meanwhile, her mom had gone on to make pots of money. She was extremely wealthy. And she was so wealthy that she could buy herself a car cash, give it to someone else, and go and buy herself another car cash. And her daughter could not see that because she was still seeing her mom the way she used to, the stories that we carry. And so she was not able to see that it was her mom's joy to give her the car and also to go off and get the car she actually wanted. And so once they were able to unpack that, she could drop the resistance.
Yeah, it's true, because she told another story about receiving. And that's been a big thing for me, is being open to receiving. That's what's been coming up during the shift or money shift thing for me. And she spoke about the fact that she couldn't even receive a compliment on a jumper or a sweater that she was wearing. So much so that she turned around and said, no, it's got a hole in it. And she realized afterwards, her epiphany was, and this is so true, where even if the universe came along with a big truck, she could never be in because she wasn't open to receiving the millions. That even if the universe came along with a great big truckload of millions and dumped it in her yard, she would reject it. And that's the whole thing, is that we reject these things. I can tell you, I can see so much of what I rejected. And I'll tell you the story about a millionaire and abundance in particular, because obviously this is all about abundance. It's like I have seen, she says abundance is an inside thing, it's a natural thing. And this is what I've seen through these 4 weeks, is that the money comes up and that's merely a show, an external show of what is happening inside. But she says, what? The universe mirrors me.
Yes.
The universe is mirroring me.
Yeah.
Oh, so if I'm mirroring Malak, thank you, that's what I'll get. I was sitting the other day, I had gone through something, and religion and money and abundance, that has been everything that I've worked through. And how religion has helped me, my beliefs in religion, the things that have helped me captive is nobody's joke. I feared money. The fear of money is the root of all evil, as far as I'm concerned. But anyway, the thing is this, is that some beliefs came up and I decided, like, these are quite deep. I better just get into a bit of EFT. So I was doing a bit of EFT during my contemplation time. And suddenly I realized, hold on a minute, I don't believe in abundance. I don't believe abundance is for me. Just that thought just, I don't believe abundance is for me. And I quickly shoved it to the back, but I decided to go look for it and pull it out again. And when I did, and I started tapping, I realized that my belief was so that abundance is a bloody joke. It's a joke. And the joke's on me. And the reason the joke's on me is because I have been kind of pursuing abundance since 2012. I've done this and I've done that and I've done this and I've done that towards financial freedom. And then I realized that's what I believe. Abundance is a joke and the joke is on me. So I quickly cleared that one and changed the affirmation. But it's just been amazing, all the resistances that have come up.
And tell me, about 2 weeks into Heal Your Abundance, you actually joined My Million Dollar Experiment. The thing you were never going to join, you were not going to do a whole year with somebody. Tell me what prompted you to join My Million Dollar Experiment.
I actually realized that obviously there was a resistance to it because of the previous group that we'd been in. And I'd come to a place where I wanted to know for myself that this is my choice. This is not me following another person, or not me listening to another person, or not me following another voice. But this is me. This is the real thing. I wasn't 100% certain. And also, I dropped my resistance to the law of attraction. It's not that I'm buying into it full blown, but I actually just dropped the resistance there. And that dropping, that was a big thing. And then I decided, you know what? I really am resonating with this lady. I'm really resonating with her. And I'm able to just sit down and go through this process and make a choice for myself. And that's what I did. I chose to do it. I thought, if I don't like it, I can opt out of there anytime. But I can't wait, to be honest, for it to start.
Fantastic.
I can't wait for it to start. And more so having done Heal, because that definitely has been a foundational setup. I feel ready now.
Yeah.
I feel like actually, now bring it on, abundance, because I really can't wait for you anymore.
I agree wholeheartedly. I also can't wait. And I also feel sometimes we think that we are not worthy of receiving. I don't know why we feel like that. But why shouldn't we be? Why should other people be worthy and we're not? Doesn't make sense. Because we're all made the same. We're all made by the same person. We're made in the same way. And we should be just as worthy as anybody else to receive. And we all work our butts off. You know, I mean, it's not that we sit back and say, oh, please, just let it come. We actually do things to actually become abundant. And it's not only abundance in money, but it's an abundance in knowledge. I mean, we're never too old to learn, and it's such fun to learn new things and to learn from somebody new. Joanna's got such a lovely way of putting things across, which does resonate with us. It certainly resonates with me, and obviously with you too, Rose, and with Lauren.
Yeah, she's a great storyteller. I love her stories. And also, the thing is that this is mindset and intuition training. So it's not about her telling us what to do. No. It's about her guiding us to follow our own intuitions. I mean, I don't think either of you have read My $1 Million Experiment yet, but you will get it. The minute we start My $1 Million Experiment, you'll get the book. So I bought it on Amazon about 2 weeks before I did Heal Your Abundance. And I read the whole thing cover to cover, and I've started reading it again, and I've read Get Selfish as well. And
are they actual books? Are they audiobooks or hardcover books?
Actually, she doesn't have audiobooks yet. I've been thinking of saying to her, maybe I should do the audiobook for her. I love reading out books. That's the whole of A Course in Miracles. But actually, I think it would be best in her voice. I love getting audiobooks that are read in the author's voice. It's really special. So yeah, I think that is something she's got on the back burner, but she's busy writing another book, which is going to be absolutely mind-blowing. What I found with the My $1 Million Experiment, there is a plan. There is a 20-step plan in the My $1 Million Experiment. However, that plan is a loose plan. It really just gives you ideas. She throws out so many ideas, and it inspires you to realize that there's, we're in this little box. Like, this is how I earn money. I earn money this way. And we plod along and we earn money the way we've always earned money, and we know that this is where we get money from. But I always remember what she keeps saying: where there's a trickle, there's a flow. Where there's a trickle, there's a flow. And there is so much more that we can receive when we open to it. And I'm sure we're going to find it in the group as well. But when you read the book and you hear all of the stories of how different people have made it, and when you go into the course, because some of the people who are coming on the My $1 Million Experiment are people who actually did the 2021 My $1 Million Experiment. A lot of them have come on again because they feel, they weren't quite ready then, and they're ready now. Because the thing with the experiment is, yes, there's going to be weekly content that is going to be put out. But like we saw with Heal, none of us are finished with Heal Your Abundance yet.
That's for sure.
Content, and we're not done with it because life happens, So we're just doing what we can when we can. And it'll be the same in the My $1 Million Experiment. We're not going to get all the content. We're not going to get to listen to every single thing, because once our plans start coming to fruition, we're going to be busy with our own stuff. We're going to be busy following what it is that we need to do. And we're just going to get enough insight to get on and get going with our plans that we make for ourselves. But we're going to be able to dip in and get from the experiment and from all the people chatting in the experiment is ideas. Well, that's what I feel I'm going to get there, is ideas, inspiration, insight, and epiphanies like we've had in Heal Your Abundance. But it's not going to be someone telling us what to do. That's not part of how Joanna teaches at all. She never tells you what to do.
No, I know. I think that's probably why I resonate with her so much. And she has a really kind way, despite the fact that the first two modules of Heal were, they were confrontational. You had to look at yourself. But lovely way of doing it. Really lovely way of doing it. I wanted to tell you that one of the other things, one thing that struck me, I think it was during a live, where she talks about pinching the flow or pinching the conduit. I'm like, what the hell is that? But I suddenly saw what I was doing, and I knew it. I've been feeling it for a long time. There is someone else in our profession, and she's recently in the profession, many years less than me. I've been in it for now over 35 years, and she's less than 10 years. And I see her constantly on social media and what have you. And I see her winning a prize and whatever. And I want to tell you something. My eyes turn green. I just go a terrible shade of green. And I just look at that and think, oh, I wish I was doing that. Oh, I wish I was doing that. That's why I'm saying that's my lack. I wish I was as visible as her and all sorts of things. And she said something about looking at the next person and how do you feel when you look at them? And I felt green. And then I realized, actually, you know what? This is what she said. She said, just say, oh, thanks. I'll have some of that. I'll have more of that. I'll have some of that. And I'll celebrate your thing. And I do that now. When I see these things and I feel the contraction, I just sort of say, oh, hi, I'll have some of that. I'll take some of that too, thanks. Then it's easy for me to say, oh, well, congratulations, you're doing very well. And even when I look at pictures of hotels, beautiful interiors, oh, now I sort of say, oh, I'll have some of that. But the thing that really changed it for me was I was reminded by what you said, Jill, was the fact that she said, what is with this competitiveness? Because we are all, each one is unique. Each one is, and she went on about it, and it dropped. It's like, what? Whatever. You know, I just realized, and it made me feel sad that no one had told me how unique I was. I remember going to my little girl and telling her, she and I having a good cry and saying, oh, no one told us before this, but thank you that we do know now. How amazing. Now we know we're unique. And when this competitive thing comes up, then I think, I'm unique. I'm unique. What I have to offer, none of them have to offer. I have got the gifts that they don't have. We complement each other. That was huge for me. Being able to see it differently.
And all those years of experience, Rose, you have so much.
I know. Well, that's what I kept thinking. Then I had to think, do you think she doesn't have challenges? Of course, she's in the same business.
And look at you being visible now. Drop your resistance, and you are visible now. By the way, you're live on Facebook right now.
I know that. I think the first time it really hit me is that I'm being visible is like in that shift your money mindset thing or whatever. Those are recordings, and I sit there yabbering away.
Yes, it's quite amazing, isn't it? I know. We say things and we think, oh my goodness, did I actually say that? And actually it probably resonates with other people as well because they feel the same.
Yes.
Because we all, you know, they think, gee whiskers, I'm just as good as anybody else. Wow. I can do the same. I can do better even. I've just got to put my mind to it and be open to challenges and new experiences. So often we get offered these opportunities to do something different and we close our minds to it because we feel perhaps we're not good enough, perhaps we won't be able to do it well enough, perhaps we might even fail. But if we haven't tried it, we don't know. And if we fail, we tried it, for goodness sake. And we must learn something, got something out of it. We might have failed at a certain part of it, but not everything. And I just think it's so exciting. There's so much to learn. It's just, you're just never too old.
This is the thing, is that through this whole heal thing, the reason why I feel ready to go into this year ahead is that because of the shifts that have taken place in my mindset and in my feelings and in my energy. And one of them is feeling like actually life is beautiful despite the challenges, and that makes it beautiful. It really has expanded my world.
Yes. And you know, it's so short. We just don't realize how short life is and that you must just grab every opportunity while you have it. Because one day maybe you won't be able to do that. And then you think, well, why didn't I? Instead of you go to your deathbed thinking about all the things you never achieved, you know, rather go there thinking, hell, I tried that and I had fun doing it. And it must be fun. I think life must be fun.
Yeah. What is your computer, Lauren?
My computer. Oh yes, that was a fun one about aligning.
Yes.
So she spoke about the computer. So when you align with what it is that you want, Joanna says that she puts into her computer, because the computer works like this, that what you put in is what you get out, right? Anything you put in is what you're going to get out. And so she puts these questions in whenever she does whatever she is going to do. She asks these three questions. Will it bring me ease? Will it bring me joy? And will it bring me flow? Those are the three things that Joanna asks anytime she's going to take any action towards her dreams. So we're going into our $1 million year, the three of us. Could be 1 million, could be more, could be less, who knows, but we're going to give it our best shot. We're going to go and play. So what are we going to put into our computer? So I had a look at what I would really like to have. And interesting, the one thing is something that is quite hard to say out loud publicly. One of the things I want to feel is proud. I would like to have pride in what I do. I get an awesome feeling when I feel really, really proud of myself is when somebody comes up to me and says that something I said or did or wrote in the book I'm going to publish or whatever, and it changed their life. They had an insight and it changed the trajectory of their life, or even saved their life. Something that I said or did that would give me a sense of pride and meaning. So for me, will it make me feel proud? And will it bring me that deep fulfillment? So all the things I want to do this year will be those things that are really going to bring me deep fulfillment. So it is about, for me, it's about writing my book and publishing it. Absolutely have to finish that project. So I would look at everything being aligned with my purpose. And for me, my purpose is to get a particular message out to people. Everything I want to do is going to be around my message. And those are the questions I'll ask. What are you going to be putting into your computer?
Jill, you go first.
I never even thought about it.
That was week 3.
If you haven't done it all, it was a brilliant, brilliant, brilliant module.
Yes. You can choose Joanna's. You can use, will it bring me ease? Will it bring me joy? Will it bring me flow? Because that does encompass a lot. Or you can create your own about what you feel would be alignment for you.
You know, for me, having been part of Living Alchemist Group, the purpose, the intention there always was to align with what they call the 4 yogic flowers, which is, I can always only remember 3, and then the 4th one leads me, but today I remembered the 4th one. The 4 yogic flowers are purpose, pleasure, abundance, and freedom. Those are the 4 yogic flowers.
Oh, I'm going to write those down.
Purpose, pleasure, you're lucky I remember all 4.
Yes.
Purpose, pleasure, abundance, and freedom.
Good.
But the point is this, those aren't particularly, that's not my computer, but, well, yes, it is, but what it is for me is that she spoke about hard work. Oh, my word. If you ask anybody at my grave, how do you remember Rose? No, Rose was a hard worker. So I'm choosing ease for that. Does it bring me ease? I'm choosing pleasure. I thought of joy, but for me, it's all about pleasure, because pleasure lines up with my purpose. It lines up with my work. It lines up with satisfaction. Pleasure, pleasure, pleasure. Beauty is a pleasure, pleasure. And the last.
Can I guess your third one? I think it's going to be beauty.
I did play with beauty, yes, but pleasure is beauty for me. Beauty is pleasure. Pleasure and beauty are one and the same. Then, of course, flow, like just being in alignment. I wasn't in the flow experiment for 7 years for nothing. And then the last one, I've got 4, is worth. Will this make me feel worth? Something about worth, self-worth, worth. So I've got ease, pleasure, flow, worth.
I love those. Mom, did that bring up anything for you?
Well, I think we're all worth a tremendous amount. So there we are, worth. That's great. Okay. Well, I always think of joy, having joy in your life and bringing joy to others, and also always looking for the positives, because there's so many negatives around. So I know I'm like my mother, you know, Pollyanna, but it works.
And your daughter.
Yeah, my mother, my daughter, you know, I like to have that positive outlook. So I think being positive and joyful.
Is it positive? Will it bring me joy? Will it be joy? Will I be able to give joy? And what's the other one? Worth? What, did you have another one?
And I thought purpose. Have a real purpose in life. Yeah. I think that's what
Is
they are.
it aligned with my purpose? That was definitely one of mine. So this is so exciting. There was something that came to mind. Oh yeah, she had some questions that she asked that I absolutely, I don't know where I got all my information I got from Joanna, but I've been in her world now for 6 weeks. Some of it was from Heal Your Abundance. Some of it was from her free lives she does on her own page. I mean, I got so much stuff from all different places. But what I loved was she had these questions to ask. There's a lot of people ask her. So they come to her and they say to her, how did you make $1 million? How did you make $1 million in 2021? And she said, that is not a good question to ask. How? Because she can give you the how she did it, but that's not how you're going to do it necessarily. The how that anybody does it is not going to necessarily help you. What better questions to ask are, how can I be ready for a result like that? How can I be ready for $1 million next year? Because each of us, you are an interior designer, you are an incredible writer and artist and blogger and so many things, a seamstress, and we all have our own unique talents. And we all have our own unique path that we're going to do this in. I want to write a book. My mom might make the best painting she's ever painted in her life, or the most beautiful wedding dress she's ever made in her life, or like the Queen or something. Who knows? You just do not know what is going to be your path, because we all have different skills and talents, and everybody does. And then she said the next question was, if this was easy, what would it look like? So since I heard that question, I've been asking myself that every day. So because every now and again I get completely overwhelmed by the fact that, oops, I might even make $1 million next year. What if I could actually do that? And then I get overwhelmed by the sheer magnitude of it. And then I ask, okay, if this was easy, what would it look like? And if this was fun, what would it look like? If I was just going out and having fun and making $1 million, what would that look like? And how much fun could I have doing this? How much fun could I have making $1 million? Or how much fun could I have trying to make $1 million? How can I make this experience a fun experience? Because it doesn't have to be onerous and heavy. It could be the lightest thing we've ever done. But it's our minds that make it something heavy. It's our minds that go into, ooh. And then we start getting contracted and we start going into hustle. And like, oh, I've got to work hard for this. Because we pro to do that. But one of the things that came along for me during this month is that I heard from someone I hadn't heard from in a good few years. We all used to be part of Extraordinary Women, and you all know this lady. Her name's Sybil Staley. And she sent me this message, and I thought, oh, I haven't heard from Sybil in ages. How exciting to hear from her. And she said, oh, I want to gift you something. I'm busy going to the next level in a course I've done. And she said, can we have a little chat? And she gave me 2 sessions of something called Intuitive Intelligence Method. And I've had the first session with her, and it was like mind blowing. It was absolutely, and it fitted in so perfectly with Heal Your Abundance. Because what she does in that session is she figures out, she zeroes in on what it is that is holding you back from whatever it is you want to achieve in your life. And what we found in that session that was holding me back was believing that my purpose was too big for me. So believing that I'd been handed this big mission and it was so big that I just become apathetic. I lean back and I just do the little tasks that bring in the little bits and have the little bit of impact, instead of doing the big tasks, getting myself out there, putting myself out in front of the right audiences, and actually making the real impact I want to make in the world. Because I came with a big message and I came with a big mission that I really want to achieve. And I've got clearer and clearer about that mission. But it's so easy to just step back every time you get afraid that it's too big for you, or that I got afraid that it's too big for me, and then just doing the small little things that, oh, okay, I can do that. That's easy. And that's bringing me in just enough. I'll just get by this month again. Like I've got by every month by doing all these little things. And just realizing, and then she goes through a whole process where we actually cleared all that. And I mean, there was so much. Honestly, it was an hour and a half session. It was 90 minutes that were really, truly, deeply life-changing. First of all, finding what that thing was that was holding me back, and then clearing that, and then seeing if there are other little bits there that I need to work on. And I'm still integrating it. But that is going to help me so much in my $1 million year. And there's still another session coming next month. So it was an amazing gift. And it's one of the things that came to me in Heal Your Abundance. It seems entirely unrelated, but nothing is. When you're dealing with energy work, when you understand that it's all energy, once you open up to receiving, these things come to you, and it's like magic. It's like magic. What you ask for comes. I put out a thought and I say, well, I need help with this. There's this little thing that I'm just not getting. And then the person appears and comes to help me with that thing. It's just amazing. Yeah, it's been
Fantastic.
incredible.
Listen, I want to tell you, I had a little miracle. No, actually, I'm not going to minimize it. It was a miracle. I know that Joanna, what I love about her too, is she says things happen in increments. And I'm happy with that because, and even this, everything is incremental. And I belong to the Silver Tent. I don't know if you do, Jill. No, you guys don't. Oh, I would recommend you to join the Silver Tent.
What?
The Silver Tent. It's a group of 50-year-olds, about 50. Largely they're our age, Jill.
Just a little bit older.
They started out at 50 and now they're 70 something.
No, it's been going for 7 years on Facebook. Anyway, I've kind of been in the tent for 7 years, and the woman who runs it started a thing called Silver Synergy, which is more of a members only sort of thing, and it's less public and just a little bit more focused. Okay. And it's a paid membership. And at the time, I decided I wasn't going to go and join Silver Synergy because there was a lot of people with a lot of voices and a lot of talking, and I don't have the time for that. And so I didn't want to join Silver Synergy, and I stayed away from it for years. Then this year, I've kind of been toying with the idea, maybe I shouldn't. And then Francesca decided to have a giveaway draw, and it would be memberships to Silver Synergy. So I thought, oh, well, this is a good intro. Anyway, the draw came and went, and my name wasn't there. But I remember thinking, this is for me. I know this is for me. That one of these prizes is for me. Yes. Anyway, it wasn't to be. It didn't pitch up. And then I got miffed. I got miffed by the fact that, hello, well, why are members allowed to, why are members empty? Yes. Then eventually I go, don't go there. So yesterday I got a note out of the blue from the lady, Steffi, who runs it, saying, Rose, the lady who got 3 months is gifting it. Do you want to be a Silver Synergy member? Of course.
Oh, that's lovely.
So I got a 3 months. I got a 3 months membership. Someone got it. She has paid it forward, and there we are.
Oh, good.
Meant to be again.
Yeah, meant to be.
Gifts are coming. These gifts are coming.
And I think it's the little miracles, or the miracles that come by way of encouragement, by way of, hello, this is definitely possible.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I had a thing that I thought was going to be totally impossible. I'm planning to go overseas next year. And I looked at my budget, and I thought, this isn't going to really work for me. And then I thought, no, come on, let me put it down on paper and work it out. Absolutely. And my friend told me how much I was going to require for the tickets and all the things, the visas and all that. And I wrote it all down, and I'm damn sure I'm going to make it. I'm absolutely, definitely going to make it. Yeah. So there you are.
Affirmation is, I'm overseas next year.
Definitely, definitely. I've got a great grandbaby I haven't seen, and I want to see him.
Okay.
And a wedding.
Wedding.
And your 80th birthday. to
Wow.
You don't have to tell everybody. You don't have to tell everybody that.
I think it's
I'm
something to be
counting
proud
backwards.
of.
Pardon?
I think it's something to be proud of.
No,
Yeah.
I'm counting backwards now, for goodness sake.
You can't think backwards. Okay.
08. Do you want to be 8 years old again? Actually,
Not
yes.
quite 8. No, we'll just do it, year by year. We'll go back.
I'll help you with that. When my book comes out, you'll know exactly how to reverse your age. One of my little miracles that came in is I did put my book a little bit on the back burner. So I've written the initial book, which is out there that people can get when they go to laurenkinghorn.com. But the full book, where I'm going to put in all the science, I've been struggling to find all the science. And then I found out that one of my favorite authors is writing a book. It's Dr. Michael Greger. He wrote the book, How Not to Die and How Not to Diet. And now he's written the book, How Not to Age. And I wanted to get it so that I could get the science, because he is really, really good at delving into the science. And I bought it yesterday. And I'm
Wow.
so I'm ready. So obviously it's not going to be written like him. He's a doctor. Mine is going to be the layperson's version. And I'll just be dipping into the science a little bit. I just want every chapter in my book to have a scientific basis, as well as what we understand from an energetic basis, from common sense. Actually, a lot of science, I've noticed, it's common sense. They're just proving what we all know is true.
Yeah. Sounds exciting, Lauren.
It is.
Yeah.
Sounds
So I'll help you reverse your age. And although I don't think you need much help with that, because you've always looked and acted and felt younger than you are. In fact, you've probably taught me all of the tricks.
I think it's because there's so many exciting things to do in life. That's the thing. There's so much still to do. Yeah. I'm too busy to die.
Exactly. It's having too much fun to die.
Listen, did you know, Jill, I'll tell you, when I had my 2017 heart attack, it was actually what they call crescendoing angina. So the pain crescendos and then it gets bigger and bigger and bigger.
I have angina, so I know.
Yeah, but this is all in one go and it just crescendos constantly. It's like a mini heart attack constantly, and until eventually you have the heart attack. And so I'm lying there in the ER, and in those days, my spiritual reference was largely angels. I'm lying there, and I said, I'm having another one of these, and I just get over it, and then I sit up and I say, I am not ready to go. I have way too much to do still.
Yes, exactly. Far too busy to die.
Afterwards, I realized, what a cheat. Anyway.
No, you've got to have determination, girl.
Yeah.
That's so
Oh, dear.
amazing. I love it. All of you have had these near-death experiences, and
Yeah.
it's been amazing how you can make a choice to come back and to be here, because you've got reasons to be here. And I think each of us can make that choice on a daily basis. I mean, if today was the last day, I love this question. It sounds so macabre, but if today was our last day on earth, what would we be doing with it? And that's my goal in 2024, is to just live each day like it's my last day on earth, so that I'm making an impact on every single day, whether it's with one person, whether there's one person that I help in my own special, unique way, or whether it's 100 people because I'm doing a live like we're doing today. I just want to touch people's lives. I came here to be a messenger of God, I believe. And that's one of the things. Oh, I just wanted to share this one last thing before we go and invite everybody to join us on the $1 Million Challenge. I listened to, I don't know where it was, but Joanna was talking about, it might have been just a post I read. She was talking about, if your house is on fire, like your house is busy burning down, do you have the capacity to think about the world's problem, like what's happening out in the world peace, about
Israel and Gaza, etc.
for anything that's going on, environmental issues, all these things that we obviously It's important for us to care about those things. But that's how most of us are living our lives right now. Our house is burning down. That she realized that for years she resisted being a money coach, being someone that helped people with their abundance. And then she realized that 90% of the world, if not 99% of the world, is sitting with angst about money every single day or every single month or at the end of every single month or whenever it is, there is the stress about money. And when you take that stress away from somebody, when they are not constantly thinking about living on the breadline or stressing about how they're going to pay school fees or how they're going to get Christmas presents or how they're going to, whatever it is, if you took all of those stresses away, how much capacity would you have for all those other things, the environmental issues, healing the world, putting peace out into the world? If you could be at peace, at complete peace with yourself, then you have so much more to give. And that is why the money conversation is so important. And for years, I shied away from it. I thought, I don't really want to teach people about making money because that's not what I stand for. And yes, I do stand for other things, health and wellness and longevity, and there's all these things that I'm putting out there, but I also stand for people making money. I also stand for people being abundant in every sense, because if you don't have abundance, you can't get the best medical care. If you don't have abundance, you can't get the best supplements or eat the best diet. The people who are least abundant are eating the worst foods and they're getting really, really, really ill. And that is extremely sad to me. And so, yes, I am standing for people's abundance. And that is why I want to encourage every single person on this call to put their little $25 down. It's only $25 for the year, not every month. We're going to pop our links. We've each got our own little affiliate links below this video. And you can decide who you resonated with and click on their affiliate link. And I encourage you to work on your abundance this year, however you do it, whether it's joining the $1 Million Challenge, which is how we've chosen to do it, or whether it's any other way. I encourage you to solve the abundance problem, because it's going to give you so much energy for all of those other things. The people who are doing the most in this world, we have this weird perception. That Scrooge thing really messed with our heads. We've got that stuck in our heads that wealthy people are sitting there counting their money and not giving any out. It is not true. The wealthiest people I've met in this world are givers. They are handing out money all the time. A lot of the time they are doing it silently, quietly. They don't want the whole world to see it. And if you look at the billionaires and the people who are the most wealthy in the world, they also are giving to this planet. They are making massive changes on this planet. And the reason for us to make money is to create more impact in this world. Whatever it is that you really care about, whatever it is that makes a difference in your world, you can do more about it when you have money. But having money makes a difference. It helps us make a bigger difference and helps us make a bigger impact in the world. So I'm not going to shy away from money anymore. I'm going to write that book, publish that book, make a bigger impact, and then welcome people into my programs and not be shy to charge. That's my little commitment to myself, because I know when I have no money issues, I can be a greater life in this world. Lauren, so that's what I saw with the My $1 Million experiment.
I want to just share this in conjunction with what you're saying. The Living Alchemy group that I'm a part of, we had a challenge or a task for December put to us where we would, before going to bed every night or when in a quiet moment or whatever, put our hands on our heart. And then what we would do is we would just dream of, not imagine. It's a big difference I discovered between visualize and dream, and just dream about whatever we wanted, but make it super abundant, super wealthy, super this. And you know that all of us initially like, I decided I'm going to try this. So I went to bed, fell asleep, forgot to do the dreaming, woke up and said, oh gosh, I've got a dream. Do you know that I dreamt about it for 45 minutes? I dreamt that we had this beautiful white train and it was soaring across Europe right through and like the Orient Express. And it was a beautiful dream, beautiful. And I got into the feeling. And when I came out of it, I realized, gosh, that was such an amazing feeling. The one thing that I didn't feel, I didn't even think of, was money. Didn't even think of it. It just was never an issue.
Yes. So when money is no longer an issue, what would your life look like? If money was no longer an issue, and if you could get it without hassling, but get it in ease, joy, and flow, and with all the things that you put into your computer, the things that you really want, how would your life be different?
Not only what it would look like, I think more importantly, what it would feel like. What it would feel like.
What would it feel like to have it here? And how much of an impact could you make? For me, it's really important to make an impact. I came here with a message, I want to share it. A joy to share it. That's where I feel joy and I get excited. And so for each one of us, it might be slightly different, but I know that what we're going into this year is going to raise us up. I've seen that people have had very different experiences of doing the 2021 experiment. Some people got relationship benefits. So for them, it turned their relationships around. For others, it turned their health around. And for others, it turned their money story around. But everybody got a benefit. And so let's just go in, have fun, play with it. And anyone who wants to join us and come play with us, you're absolutely welcome.
Absolutely.
Anybody else want to say anything?
I just want to say that I think for me, what appeals to me most is the fact that you don't have to work at it, you can play with it, is the fact that we don't have to try, we can just allow. I love all those things. I just can't wait to experience every single day of it.
Yay, me too.
The same, and I also feel that the nice thing is that you don't actually have to do everything at a certain time every day. It can be any time, and you can. There's like it's not like having to catch up. You just do it, and it's such fun. Sometimes I spend hours, lying on the bed, my feet up. Come on, what could be better?
If we can dip in and dip out and just have fun with it, why not?
Yeah,
How much
exactly.
fun can we have?
You have some
And
fun.
how can it be easy? Yes. We're
Yeah.
all about fun, all of us, aren't we? You mostly beauty.
And fun. Gosh, I love fun.
Beauty, fun, ease, joy. The other word I wanted to add is peace.
Yeah.
Do it peacefully. How to get world peace? Feel the peace inside your soul. Starts within. As within, so without. Thanks, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me, ladies. This was so much fun with you. I was going to just do my own little thing about my own insights, and that would have been so boring.
Thank you, Lauren, for the invite. Thank you not only for the invite to join you, but thank you for extending and sharing in the whole thing.
Absolute pleasure.
Okay, lovely to see you.
See
Let's
you.
have a rocking year, ladies. Here we go. 2024 is our year.